far away. For this time we share with love and care. We give thanks for this precious day. We give thanks for this precious day. All gathered here and those far away. For this time we share with love and care. We give thanks for this precious day.
Welcome. Welcome to Emerson Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Marietta, Georgia. Oh my gosh, Bruce and our wonderful hymn singers, Christy and Jeffrey, I gotta tell you, it just makes me feel good to come walking in to the sound of music. My name is Ed Cosper, and I do a few things around here at Emerson. I sing in the choir, whether it's virtual or in person. I also like to dig in the dirt, and I'm a ministry associate, and I'm a Sunday morning worship team leader. So I gotta tell you, it's fun being here at Emerson because we are an active community, a community where we don't just sit around and do nothing, we get busy. I'd like to acknowledge that we are a non-creedal congregation and all are welcome here. As a Unitarian Universalist congregation, we welcome a wide variety of theological and spiritual beliefs. We honor the inherent worth and dignity of each and every person. You are welcome here. Acknowledge those who may be joining for the first time in this way. A special welcome to those who are visiting and visiting us for the first time. And also to those who may be returning. We want to share with you that we want you to be nourished in heart and mind by our worship today. We have a wonderful guest speaker today. He is absolutely special. His name is Anthony Mtuaswa Johnson. He's born in Mississippi and Chicago bred. He's a minister, a speaker, a writer, a poet, a producer, a soldier, a teacher, and a mentor, and also an elder. His poetry CD entitled Spirit Talk is, as AJ, Anthony Johnson, says, it's spoken word for the rest of us that speaks to the best in each of us. Mtuaswa, his African name, is a practicing diviner in the African spiritual tradition of Burkina Faso, as taught by Maladoma Soma, one of the world's most famous shamans, whom some refer to as the real Wakanda. He is author of the book of poetry entitled What If God is a Woman, and is an avid Tai Chi practitioner. He is the former assistant minister director of a congregational life at the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Phoenix, Arizona, and minister of the Humboldt Unitarian Universalist Fellowship in Bayside, California. We welcome Reverend Johnson and look forward to his message. Now, as we proceed today, please check your order of service or your notebook and determine that we have sermon reflections at 11:15. We've got coffee conversations between the end of the service and 11:15, and we surely have some AE offerings as well. Take a look in your order of service for the links. Now, I would just like to invite everyone to take a moment, think about your friends, think about your buddies, think about your fellow Emersonians, and take a moment just to send that intent of happiness and joy and kindness. So let's just take just a moment. And now, we'd like to have our chalice lighting. The words for this chalice lighting were recommended by Reverend Johnson. We shall not cease from exploration. And the end of all exploring, we will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time.
Good morning. Today is the first Sunday of Advent, a holiday season from our UU Faith's Christian roots. I've lit the first purple candle on our Advent wreath this morning. It's featured on the ritual table in front of the pulpit here with me. Lighting candles is one of the fondest Advent traditions for both church congregations and many families. The tradition reaches back to pre-Christian Northern Europeans who during the darkest days of winter lit as many as 24 candles on an evergreen covered wreath or wheel, and by lighting a candle a day, they marked time, anticipating the return of the sun's light and warmth. And by the 1500s, both Lutheran and Catholic Christians adapted the Advent wreath with its candles as a devotional way to prepare for the coming of Christ, the light of the world in Christian theology. It's celebrated each year on Christmas Day. The word Advent comes from the Latin word adventus, and it means waiting. The Everyday UU blog this week reminded me that Advent is waiting and planning time to prepare our lives to be an example of something wondrous, noteworthy, and yes, even mysterious. As poet Mary Oliver writes, "Tell me, what is it that you plan to do with your one wild and precious life?" Advent for Unitarian Universalists can be a time of patience, lived in compassion towards our neighbors by actively being involved in efforts to rid the world of oppression and injustice. Such a life demands spiritual fortitude and spiritual practice to reweave us when the cloth of compassion wears thin. Let this Advent season be that time when we refortify ourselves for the work that we have chosen in this specific time and this specific place in our lives. And we have great work to do, and there's lots of it. Now, as a quick reminder, this past weekend, hundreds of small white candles that I call the Silent Night candles were being delivered to Emerson U congregation homes to celebrate Christmas Eve. Please join the preparations for our Christmas Eve worship service by remembering to video record yourself and your family lighting each other's candles. We'll be weaving these videos together to share while we sing Silent Night during the online Christmas Eve service this year. We'll keep our white candles to light them again on Christmas Eve as we sing that Silent Night song. But in the meantime, the instructions to shoot your video, and it only needs to be 4 or 5 seconds. are in the bag that you received your candles in. You can send those videos to Maggie in the office, and those instructions were included in your candle bag. If you'd like to participate in the candle lighting and haven't had your candle delivery yet by this afternoon, email the Emerson office at office@emersonuu.org, and we'll mail you candles. We're looking forward to seeing those videos sent into the office by 5 p.m. on Tuesday, December 1st. So it's a short turnaround, but it's a great way to start Advent. Thank you so much for your assistance with this lovely project, and happy Advent.
And please join me in saying the affirmation, our congregational affirmation: we don't all have to think alike to love alike.
Our opening words today come from one Robert Brout. Robert reminds us, life becomes easier when you learn to accept an apology you never got.
And please join in the singing of our opening hymn, number 188, Come, Come, Whoever You Are, mixed and arranged by James Poteet.
Good morning. My name is Jillian Scow, and I have a story for all ages. This is a story of 4 travelers who met at the base of a mountain. Each traveler had been told that at the top of the mountain they would find God. And each one had been told there was only one true path to God. The first one explained that if they followed the meadow flower path, they would find the great Spirit of God. The next traveler said, "Oh no, it's the deep forest path that leads to the great silence of God." No, certainly not. I've been told if I climb the steep cliff path, I will find God, the Father in heaven. No, I'm sure if I follow the forest path, I will find God, Mother of all. The travelers were all anxious to convince each other of the one true path. Please come with me, I'm sure this is right. Those who told me were wise and had studied for ages, I know I have the right path. This path has been passed down through my people for generations. We know this is the one way. But it became obvious that none would convince the others, and so they each set off on their individual paths up the mountain. On their journey, each traveler encountered beauty and joy, and also challenges, moments of difficulty, of confusion, uncertainty. But in the end, each reached the top of the mountain within minutes of each other, and each one found what they were searching for and called out, "Oh, Father in heaven, I have found you. Oh, Mother of all, I have found you. Ah, great peaceful silence, I have found you. Oh, Spirit of all, I have found you." And in ecstasy they began to sing. Their voices blended together in joyful song, and they realized they were all singing to the same God. And so there on the mountain joined hands and sang as one. This is the story as it was told to me, and so I told it to you. But I've always had a question about this story that I hope you can help me answer and think about this morning. And my question is, what happened next? After that moment of singing in joy on top of the mountain, when each of these travelers had found the God they sought, what next? How did they get down the mountain? Did they travel the same path? Or did they choose a new path? Did each traveler travel alone? Or did they go with another? Did all together forge a new path? I don't know the answer. But maybe you do. Something to think about on a Sunday. Please join us in singing the song of dedication.
Is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humankind in fellowship. Thus do we covenant with each other. Thus do we promise to each other.
morning, everyone. My name is Lane LaFay, and I serve as a member of Emerson's Pastoral Care Team. The Pastoral Care Team members are available as listening ears and caring hearts to support you during challenging times. You can contact us at our email address, pastoralcare@emersonuu.org. At this time in our service, we pause to share personal joys and sorrows and concerns of the Emerson community. Each Sunday, we light our vigil bowl. Its light represents the light of hope for peaceful resolution of all conflicts on our planet, and it honors all dedicated people who serve us, including those on the front line of the COVID-19 virus battle. We also light a special candle of acknowledgement for the Cherokee and Muskogee nations of people who live on this land before us. May this candle remind us of our interconnection, and may our actions help heal all nations of people. Beth Klein will light our candles today as I share these joys, sorrows, and concerns with you. I have a message from Lindy Moot. In true story troupe form, she writes a story. She says, I wanted to let you know of some recent health issues. I've had difficulty breathing for about 3 weeks. I visited my doctor, and she said I should go ahead with my plans to meet my family in Lake Tahoe. After we arrived, my breathing got much worse. I went to the hospital and was diagnosed with a mild heart attack. I had lots of tests and was transferred to a hospital in Sacramento. Here I had more tests, and they found a blood clot in my lung. I'm getting treatments now and hope to be home soon. Everyone's love and caring thoughts really help. We know there are also joy, sorrows, and concerns left unspoken today. As Beth lights candles for them, please feel free to speak aloud the name of anyone you're holding closely in your heart this morning. Let us send our heartfelt caring intentions to all people everywhere by offering the Buddhist prayer of loving kindness. The words are projected here and also printed in your order of service. May all beings be filled with loving kindness. May they be free from harm and suffering. May they be well in body, heart, and mind. May they be at peace. Blessed be.
Let's take a moment to relax, a moment to be calm, a moment to center ourselves during this service today. Gently close your eyes or fully close your eyes and relax. Listen to these words. Love is not concerned with whom you pray. Love is not concerned with whom you pray or where you slept the night you ran away from home. Love is not concerned with whom you pray or where you slept the night you ran away from home. Love is concerned that the beating of your heart should kill no one. love, love, love.
Greetings and blessings, everyone, and welcome. I welcome you in the name of the ancestors upon whose shoulders I stand. And I welcome you in the name of all that is holy and sacred for you. I am Reverend Anthony Mtuaswa Johnson, and it is indeed a pleasure and an honor to share this space with you today. Today's sermon is entitled, Wisdom in Today's World. One Jonathan Jimmer is ringing in my head. He reminds us has a statement about true wisdom, that it comes in understanding sometimes that you and I are both the prison and the key. Both the prison and the key. Ah, that key. Many times I've heard, what's the key to the universe, the key to a successful marriage, the key to joy, or the key to happiness? Well, I got news for us. I believe that what if, just what if, the universe has no key? That in fact, it's been left unlocked. Same true for joy or happiness. And if that was so, then guarding my life choices, I may be, as Jonathan reminded us a second ago, both the prison and the key rest with me and with you. And if that is so, wisdom is ours for the taking or for the making. You know, a lot of times when the topic of wisdom comes up, images come with it of diplomas on walls, certain letters behind one's name like PhD or doctor or LCSW or reverend. Maybe we think of elders with wrinkles on their faces. So we get the message. Wisdom is an accumulation thing. It's about gathering and accumulating. In order to be wise, we need to stack it up, shall we say, or pile it on. More knowledge, more experience, more books to read, more gurus to follow, more degrees to get. Question, is that accumulation about wisdom or is that about knowledge? And what is the difference between the two, between knowledge and wisdom? I'd like to try on a definition from one Martin Fisher. Mr. Fisher says, knowledge is a process of piling up facts. It's the process of piling up facts. Wisdom lies in their simplification. An Eastern sage, Lin Yutang, says, besides the noble art of getting things done, there is also the noble art of leaving things undone. The wisdom of life consists in the elimination of non-essentials. So let this kind of be a reminder for us that the mathematics of wisdom may be the opposite of what we think. Maybe it's more a game of subtraction than addition. Often the accumulation of knowledge does not get us closer to wisdom. Sometimes it's just in the way. You see, there's a sorting, shall we say, a stripping away, a simplifying that needs to occur. I say it's about unknowing as much as knowing. Just think about it, how deeply you and I, we get tangled up in those cultural wise messages about money, about success, or degrees, or the SAT, IQ tests. We get mixed up with status rather than the pursuit of truth. Or how about the way our political parties and religions and even science claim to have all the answers? I'm thinking of the wise, great Sufi poet Hafez, who reminds us, and he says, quote, sometimes the beloved sometimes just needs to turn us upside down and shake us so that nonsense falls out. End of quote. So with all of the nonsense shaken out, stripped away, maybe we notice, just maybe we notice most is not so much the pearls of wisdom themselves, but the sources of wisdom that we may have forgotten. You see, when reason and logic hog the spotlight, the wisdom of the body rarely enters the room. When week-long retreats with the newest guru define our path to wisdom, we stop asking what our failures, what our mistakes are trying to teach us. When experts sit in the center, the wisdom of those in the margins is lost. So many untapped sources. So much wisdom just waiting to be known. So we may ask ourselves, this may be the wisest question we can ask ourselves. Where have I not looked before? Where have you not looked before? One answer to that, I believe, is in the call. To call upon and offer for your consideration. Just think about it. I ask you to think about it and reflect on it. Well, I tell you what, I wrote a poem about it. It's called Ancestor Logic, and maybe a place that you haven't looked before. You see, ancestor logic is not logical. Ancestor logic is not biological. Ancestral knowledge is not psychological. Ancestor logic is not logical at all. Ancestor logic is not concerned about the person, not the son of Per or the daughter of Her. Ancestor logic is about what comes before the self. Ancestor logic puts that ego on the shelf. Bringing you here from kingdoms come. Ancestor logic, I dare say, is where we all come from. Yeah, it may have all started with the sway of a hip, the wink of an eye, the power of a smile, or maybe a sweet sigh. There's that attraction, that acceptance, a hug, a kiss, a natural body click. About 9 months later, you get a belly kick. Ancestor logic is not logical. What's logical about the sway of a hip or the wink of an eye, the magic of a smile, or the sound of a sweet sigh? Ancestor logic, 'tis the knowledge antiseptic. That's ancestor logic. You see, wisdom life is non-toxic. True wisdom life may be ancestor logic. Wisdom, my friends, is truly a gift. We pass it on to each other like a precious jewel. None of us wants to hold on to it or want others to make the same mistakes we did. We pass it on. We share it generously. We share our advice, yeah? Yeah. It's not just something we collect to uplift ourselves. No. In other words, wisdom connects us. We pass it on so that we can make it through together. Or put another way, wisdom and kindness may be more connected than we realize or that we acknowledge. Speaking of acknowledgement, when was the last time you acknowledged what I call, or honoring, the three most powerful words in the English language? I don't know. One Miss Sandra Carey reminds us, and I quote, "Never mistake knowledge for wisdom. Knowledge helps you make a living. Wisdom helps you make a life. End of quote. Now, I'm happy to say and so honored that in my life, I have met some wise people. And one of them pops to mind right now. I'm thinking of one who we call Ma Grace. When I met this wise woman, she was 107 years young. She was so proud of the fact, as we all were, that she graduated from high school at the age of 92. I can see her now with her beanie cap, her knitted cap, and that flowery, beautiful apron that she wore. Yes, where she kept her little derringer to make sure everybody left her alone, the young knuckleheads, if you will. She always reminds us of never too late to do anything, never too late. Ma Grace. She lived to be 110. I met her when she was 107. She graduated high school in 92. Some of you probably remember this famous quote. I'm just going to throw this in here, tickle your innards, see if you know this one. Quote, "If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men, when all people doubt you, and when you can make allowance for their doubting too, if you can fill that unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything in it. Which is more, you'll be a man, my son." Ring a bell? Of course, yes, Rudyard Kipling. And if I might add, or which is more, you'll be a person, my son, my daughter, or my person of any gendered order. Ma Grace, in her own way, some kind of surmised and summed up Kipling. She told me, "Hey boy, if you can keep your head and your wits about you," that's what Kipling put it, "regardless of what's happening out in the world." But Ma Grace said in her home. Now, Ma Grace summed up Kipling's quote that if you can keep your head and your wits about you while all others are losing theirs, regardless of what is happening out in the world or what they're saying, then yours is the earth and everything that's in it. Ma Grace summed that up in her own black Mississippi kind of way this way. She simply said, "No matter what's happening out there, boy, no matter what people are saying, no matter what they're doing, just remember one thing. Always." And I ask you to kind of raise your hand with me and make a little something like this, because this is what she said. She said, straight up, always keep your brain pan level. So I offer those Ma Grace words of wisdom to you today. No matter what, keep your brain pan level. My favorite shaman said this, quote, "The intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant." I'd like to say that one again. The intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. That shaman is none other than Albert Einstein. Yeah, I call him a shaman because I believe in our culture, we don't call them shamans. We prefer the term quantum physicists. It kind of resonates better. So we have created a society that honors the servant. and has forgotten the gift of the intuitive mind. Jimi Hendrix said, "Knowledge speaks, but wisdom listens." Of course, Jimmy also sang and Bob Dylan wrote, "There's no reason to get excited. The thief he kindly spoke. There are many here among us who feel that life is but a joke. But you and I, we have been through this. That is not our fate. So let us stop talking falsely now. The hour's getting late." Emo Phillips said, quote, "I used to think that the brain was the most wonderful organ in my body. Then I realized, who was telling me this?" End of quote. That great sage Confucius say, "By 3 methods we may learn wisdom." First method, reflection, which is the noblest. Second, by imitation, which is the easiest. And thirdly, by experience, which is the bitterest. End of quote. So how about a Unitarian Universalist minister and wise man to share something with us as well, referring to none other than Reverend William Ellery Channing. And he says, and I quote, "There are seasons in human affairs of inward and outward revolution." Rather timely, I'd say. "When new depths seem to be broken up in the soul. When new wants are unfolded in multitudes. When new wants are unfolded in multitudes, and a new and undefined good is thirsted for. There are periods when to dare is the highest wisdom." End of quote. So, in my closing today, I truly believe our wisest teachers are the ones who show you and I how to use our heart. Blessed be. Amen. Ashe.
Please join me and join our hymn leaders, both Christy Ogle and as well Jeffrey Jacoby, in singing hymn 145, "As Tranquil Streams."
As tranquil streams that meet and merge and flow as one to seek the sea, our kindred hearts and minds unite to
received a message. It was late last night. This message came from a Susan Jordan. And she said, "You know, it is time once again to be excited shoppers, filling wishes for the Live Safe Resources children, those being sheltered from violence during the holidays. Live Safe Resources is a nonprofit organization with the goal of making a difference in the lives of victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, and elder abuse, and of course their children. This is the third year that Emerson has had an opportunity to support by filling holiday wish lists the children have created. One of the client's letters said, "You have provided me and my daughters a safe haven when I thought I had nowhere to turn. The staff here at Live Safe has helped us more than I imagined possible." This year, Emerson is hoping to sponsor 25 children, and we have 5, as of last night, 5 left who need sponsors. If you are interested in helping, please see the announcement with the links in this week's notebook or the Evite you were sent, or you can just contact our minister, Reverend Deborah Bennett, at minister@emersonuu.org. Know that all gifts must be received at the center by Friday, December the 4th. That's this coming Friday, which is this week's, it's just this a single week away. So please consider helping these children in need. As we conclude our worship service, we hope that you will be feeling and leaving nurtured in heart and mind by our time together. We invite you to conclude your time of worship with one final act. As you are able, please affirm your support for the sustainability of this congregation and the ongoing ministries that we share through a monetary offering. When we give, we say yes to something we value. When we sincerely hope that you have found great value here today and will return again and again to worship and to join this community in working for a positive change in our world. The methods of giving are being shown on your screen. Know that you can text the words GIFT, GTB, or pledge to 678-553-9495. Thank you for all you do to make Emerson a truly beloved community. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Our closing words today are from Mark Twain. Never argue with a fool. Onlookers may not be able to tell the difference.
Please join in as we extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry out into the world until we are together again. And now, go in peace, and take peace wherever you go.
Hey, good service.